Hey, Jasmine Cooper of Perennial Sounds here, bringing you a composer behind the scenes video where basically I kind of showcase a little bit about a project that I've worked on. Project that we're going to be looking at today is Gecko Gods. I had the fortune of being the music composer and also the audio programmer for the music for this game. And I'm just going to share about how I basically implemented music for the battle system in this game. If you don't know much about Gecko Gods, you play as an adorable little gecko. The main focus of the game is exploration. And so you can fight things in this game, but when I say battle system, it's not anything heavy-handed. I really wanted the battle music to be representative of the player's experience with fighting in the game, which is 99% of the time, if you don't want to engage with the enemy, you don't have to. So with that, let's switch on over to FMOD so I can show you what I got going on around there. FMODing around. So I guess a couple things to kind of talk about is, I guess, my approach to this. First things first, the battle system that is heard in-game is very different from the initial idea behind battle systems when I was first brought onto the project. But I guess the first thing I can do is basically just kind of showcase how this bad guy works. So right here in FMOD, you can set up events. If you don't know much about FMOD, I'll have links to videos that kind of dive into music programming using FMOD. So if you're new to this might be completely foreign, and this video is not about me explaining how you use FMOD. But one thing that you can do in FMOD is you can set music and sounds up in a 2D space or in a 3D space. Because music plays all around you, I've got my music set up, or at least music is playing all around you in Gecko Gods. There's no diegetic music implementation in this game. I have all of the music set up on a 2D plane. For the battle system, what was really important to me for the battle system is, one, having a battle system that was contained. What I didn't want was 4 different battle system events that had to be called by the developer. I really just wanted it to be that the music for the battle system can be very malleable within its one event. And I wanted battle music to also happen at the same time as the area music. So I wanted there to be overlapping. I didn't want there to be this switching from area music to battle music akin Pokemon or Final Fantasy. I wanted it to be that whenever the player encounters an enemy, the battle music would kind of lay on top of the music. And then when that threat was evaded, that music subsiding. And so I'd say those were the 2 main points, that containment and then ensuring that the battle music could kind of appear and disappear in time with whatever music is playing in that area. So how I did this, first thing is to create that containment. There's essentially 2 battle themes that you'll hear in the game. There was potential for 3. We didn't get to that. But in Gecko Gods, we've got a few. We've got, I'd say, 3 biomes. We've got biomes that are kind of situated around the water temple. We've got the desert temple, and we also have the volcano temple. There isn't a separate battle theme for the volcano temple, but if there were, we would have in this section right here. I can't really scoot over, but in this section right here, we would have audio and sound for biomes that fit with the volcano temple. With that being said, for this game, we just have battle themes that are representative of 2 biomes, water temple areas and then the desert. And so in this containment system, we have the music set up for each area, and I wanted in this containment cell for the music to switch adequately based on the biome that the player is in. I had to have 2 things going on here, blue and green. I have a rattle sound, and then overlaid on that rattle sound are different wind sound effects. So for the water temple adjacent areas, we've got, I believe it's shaker and then flute. Native American flute, should be specific. And then when we're in the desert area, I have a shaker that's more akin to a rattle. I kind of wanted it to be indicative of a rattlesnake. And then the woodwind that we're utilizing for the desert area is basically bass clarinet harmonics. The reason I don't have Native American flute represented in the desert area is because we have Native American flute playing in the music. And so having 2 sets of Native American flute playing is just, I felt like jarring. And so I wanted to have a sound that was definitely, that definitely had a lot of character and would instantly grab your attention because of how uncanny it sounded, while also kind of sticking to the theme of letting woodwinds kind of be the signature for entering a threat area or a battle, and but also avoiding the conflict of the woodwinds playing in the water temple area. So I'll play the desert for you. Lord. So what we've got going on, because I've kind of gone over the music aspect of it. So what's happening with the rattle, I essentially have whatever flute performance that I recorded, it's basically playing verbatim. For the desert, I have some randomization happening for the pitches for the bass clarinet. I'm not sure if you can see it, but right here, I basically have I've applied this randomizer to the pitches. Because essentially the bass clarinet's really low, but I want it to have this variance of this bass clarinet sound effect. So yes, there's some pitch variation happening on the bass clarinet sound effect side of the battle music. But everything else basically sounds as recorded. The battle rattle basically was me taking a jar of rice or beans and then just kind of shaking it. And then The battle rattle is me shaking actual shakers that I have here in my studio. So that's the music aspect of it. Now, how is this stuff triggered? So in this game, we have applied a numerical system to the islands. So essentially, we have a parameter set up where a number equates to an island that you're on. If number 9 is toggled in the current area, and actually you can see it right here, current area. If number 9 is toggled, number 9 means, let's say you're on singing peaks. And so I decided to use that parameter as the method for triggering between which battle system needs to be represented. So the battle system defaults to the water temple areas. I don't know why I named it in D. Oh, not desert. maybe that's why I put. Maybe that's why I put that. But essentially, non-desert battles are the default. I mean, you start in the water temple and you can engage with threats in the water temple. So it makes sense for the water temple battle theme to be the default. And so what happens is whenever the player transitions to the desert areas, which are marked here by current area number 16 through 20, when that parameter shifts, the battle music automatically transitions over to the desert battle area. And when the player leaves the desert areas, and it's marked here 1 through 15 and 21 through 24, that's why I have 2 of these here. I guess another way I could have done it was I could have literally just done current area 16 through 20 and clicked inverted and moved that over here. But hey, hindsight's 2020. But essentially that's what toggles between the water temple adjacent area battle music playing and the desert battle music playing. And so that is step one, getting the containment working the way I would like for them to work. The second part is ensuring that the battle system can play or layer on top of the area that happens to have a threat. And so if we move further into my FMOD project, we've got a few islands here. We've got Ancient Island. Ignore these names because you're probably like, what is Ancient Island? Ancient Island. Oh yeah, no, Ancient Isle's on there. We have Ancient Island is obviously an island in the game. All these are islands in the game. But of these islands, there's really only there's really only like one differentiation. All of these islands utilize a water temple battle music except for the desert. And so how do I set that up? So I've got the event with the battle system contained. So that's already working as is. As the player moves from island to island, toggling the current area ID and changing the number. As the player moves, they are already ensuring that the battle system event works as needed. The next part is just getting it set up for each island. So how I did this, I basically, in each island, got an ancient island here, I have a track, is that what it's called? Yes. Have an audio track in each island that is labeled battle, and it's red because color coordination helps me. And what this ensures is, as music is playing for the area, the battle system will be playing on top of it. But now what we don't want is when the player changes to a new island, we only want to hear the battle system when we're in a battle. And so once I have the battle system set up and ensure that there's a lot going on here, but ensuring that the battle system is represented in each island event. Essentially, for each loop area, I've put a battle system. I basically have taken the battle event and drug it into an adjacent event, kind of like a nested event. And I've just made sure that the battle system fits within the loop points or the loop sections of the event that it's nested in. And so that's how I got the battle containment event. That's how I got the contained battle event into another event. I basically dragged it and dropped it. Now we've got this series of nested events going on. But with that, I've dragged the battle event into the area event that I want it to be toggled in. But like I said, we don't want the battle system to be heard unless we're in a threat. So a series of things had to happen. First, we drag and drop the battle event into the necessary area event, made sure everything is in alignment with loop points so that no matter what happens within the game, if a player is in a battle music is heard. And what I did was I tied the battle system's volume with the parameter that actually dictates when a player is in combat. So we have a parameter, it's called in combat right here. And the parameter goes from 0 to 1. So when we enter combat, we already have a set parameter. It goes from 0 to 1. I've just tied the volume to it. So that ensures that as the player is on Chime Island, we hear no battle music. Perfect, because we're not in a battle. But when we enter, so tying the volume of the audio track that the battle nested event is on to the in combat parameter allows for the music to layer on top of each area's main music and negates having to switch between music tracks. Now, there is an additional element happening here. The battle music is being heard, but I'm also doing some extra mixing with this particular setup so that the battle system can pop a little bit more. And what I have going on is a low pass filter. Now, again, just like with the battle music, I only want these effects to be heard based on this in combat parameter. Are we engaging with the threat or not? So with that, I've done I've applied a low pass filter, but I have also set the low pass filter up to where we only feel the effects of it when we're in combat, because I've also tied the in combat parameter to the low pass filter. So what have I done to get the low pass filter working? Right now, battle's good. The volume of the battle is tied to the in combat parameter. So the next thing I do is I essentially take all of the audio tracks that have music pertaining to this area and I filter them. I right click and then I reroute. I filter all of the audio tracks into this audio track named low pass filter. Because essentially what I want is I want all of this music for the area to basically kind of have this converging point with this audio track. So that way I can control how that audio is affected separately from the battle track. Because I don't want a low pass filter over the battle track. I just want a low pass filter over everything else. And so I literally right clicked everything and routed all the tracks into the low pass filter audio track here. And if I right click on everything, you see there's a check next to low pass filter that just showcases that that particular audio track is in fact being routed here. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 audio tracks all routing into the low pass filter. And the next thing I do is I have the low pass filter changing based on the depth of the low pass filter. Oh, sorry, I have it changing based on the depth of the in combat parameter. So 22 kilohertz basically means there's no filter being used. And then as we get closer to 2, interesting, I don't know why we have it at 2. Oh, never mind, I understand. I think I do. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking for the battle music, you have it going to its max volume at 1, but for the low pass filter, you have the max effect of the low pass filter going to 2. Why am I doing that? That's a good question. Well, I had it set up and sounds fine in game, but all that being said, the effects of a low pass filter increase the closer to 2 that we get, which allows for the battle system to pop. And I also have the volume of these audio tracks shifting as well. So not only is the music for the area getting darker thanks to the low pass filter, the volume is also being lowered to help the battle system pop. And I can actually, should be able to do this. I can show a before and after, like what the music sounds like if we don't have the low pass filter and the volume lowering, and as well as what it sounds like with both of these effects in place. All right. So hopefully you're able to hear a bit more prominence of the battle system when we are using that low pass filter and decreasing the volume. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed kind of this behind the scenes of how I implemented the battle music for Gecko Gods. I plan to do another video showcasing another system in the game. I want to show the ship. I'm afraid to show the ship. We'll see. But I will showcase something else. I'll showcase another system that I created for this game because it was really fun for me. But yeah, that's it. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.